Good morning, and thank you everyone for joining us today for the weekly media availability with UTSA men's basketball coach Austin Claunch. The Roadrunners are coming off a solid team victory over Temple at home on Saturday and are set for a double road week, traveling to Florida Atlantic on Wednesday and then Saturday over to Denton for the rematch with North Texas. Coach, can you get us started with a look back on Saturday's victory over Temple and any thoughts you have on the week ahead with the Owls and then the Mean Green?
Yeah, Saturday was a huge win for us. Just an awesome environment at the Convo. I think that played a huge factor in the game and certainly, had our guys fired up and ready to go. We've talked a lot about this stretch being one of our tougher stretches for conference play. And, it continues, a big week, 2 road games this week. And so, winning Saturday was important. Our guys feel good and understand what it takes to win and beat high-level teams in the American. Obviously, have a ton of respect for Temple. They're going to continue to win a lot of games. And now we've got to, take our show on the road and go compete, again, against 2 really well-coached teams. Every team in this league is, as we're learning, is just so disciplined and well-coached and really capitalize on your mistakes. So I thought, the one thing against Temple that we did that was uncharacteristic was we turned the ball over. I think we're actually first in the league in taking care of the ball and not turning it over. And we had some live ball turnovers I thought that gave Temple a lot of momentum and allowed them to, get back in the game. And when, a really good team like that gets life, it's going to be really, really hard. And that's what happened. Then it was a dogfight the last 8 minutes, and we just happened to make 1 or 2 more plays. But really, really, excited for the win, and it's important moving into this week with 2 really good teams ahead.
Just a reminder that if you have a question, to use a raise hands function on the Zoom. Jerry, go ahead and get us started.
Yeah, Coach, good morning. To ask, I was thinking this morning about a conversation I had with Primo back in the fall. And it's interesting because it was after I believe it was after the Little Rock game and a couple of games where you guys were really struggling, and I was asking him about just kind of his level of optimism for the team for the season coming off those 2 losses, and he acted like it hardly fazed him. And I guess my question is, what is it about Primo and about this team in general that you have, even after you guys struggle a little bit, you always have the capability to bounce back and play like you did against Temple. I guess resilience is the word you've used several times. Where does that come from?
Well, I think we have an older team. We have a mature team. Obviously, Primo's a guy that's played a lot of college basketball and has been a part of a lot of wins. And it's a long season. I mean, you're going to have ups and downs. You're probably not going to go undefeated. There's going to be moments of adversity that you have to overcome. I thought early on in the year, brand new team, we were still working through some rotations and things we wanted to do schematically. And we've been really honestly, we've been really unlucky with some injuries this year, more than I'm a little bit accustomed to. And everyone is. I mean, listen, this is the time of the year where everyone's a little banged up a little bit, some bruises here and there. Primo, was actually questionable for the Temple game. He had gotten banged up in practice the day before, gutted it out, again, because, this is the time of the year where you want to, continue to figure out, how to hit that stride here in the next couple of weeks, which is what everybody wants to do heading into February and into March, of course. So, again, it's you try not to get too high or too low. We always say it's never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. Somewhere in the middle, reality lies, right? And, we're excited, because of our win against Temple. But, we also feel that, we've had some games, the last couple of weeks that we've let get away from us a little bit, and so we know we've got better basketball in front of us, and we've got to figure out how to play that way, every night out.
Go ahead, Haley.
Okay. Jerry mentioned, there's a lot of resilience. Austin, you talked about a lot of momentum, and that's something that we saw, but this was not an easy win for the guys. They really fought hard for this, but I feel like this was a great showcase of what they can do offensively. You had a lot of big scores during the game. I think Primo and Horn both made 20 points each, at least. So I want to know, as their coach, how you're going to keep up this momentum going into the new games you got going on this week.
Yeah, well, we're really playing well offensively. I think if you look at the efficiency metrics, we're fourth in the league in offensive efficiency in conference-only games. I thought actually where we made our biggest jump was defensively. It was our best points per possession defense so far in conference play. So I thought it started with that, and then on the offensive side of the ball, we've really been sharing it. I can't remember. I think we had 16 assists on Saturday. What was the number? And whenever you're moving it and sharing it, you're going to shoot a higher percentage, and you're going to have more guys in double figures. Again, I think we had 5 guys in double figures. I beat the drum on it. I think we are the only team in the league with 5 guys averaging double figures. So it's a big part of our strength is strength in numbers. I mean, we've got a lot of guys that can make shots, a lot of guys that can create for others. And in order for us to play our best basketball, I think that's something we got to lean into.
I'll actually jump in. Kind of touches on the same theme. Over the past few games, we've obviously been seeing the standard numbers from Primos, but you're getting greater contributions out of a host of other Roadrunners. What can you say about the guys that have really been stepping up more lately?
Yeah, I mean, I think, more than anything, I wouldn't even necessarily calling it stepping up. I mean, I would just say playing, sort of to what we expect them, to play like. I think early on, I think a good example would be, the way Raekwon is shooting it from 3 in league. That's sort of what we expected. He didn't shoot it well early on, and as coaches, we had to do a better job of figuring out because he shot it so well in the summer. So, I wasn't doing a good enough job putting him in positions, to really show what he's capable of and show what he could do in the non-conference. And I think now as we've all started to get into a better rhythm, you're seeing, his numbers go up. You're seeing certain guys, numbers and percentages go up from different areas. So I just think we're in a good rhythm, and I think those guys are in a good working rhythm and playing rhythm right now. And we've just got to continue to build on that, as we move forward. There's still a lot of games left. I feel like we're playing better basketball every time out. But our goal is to win championships here. And so we've got to find more consistency in regards to finishing games like we did on Saturday.
Go ahead, Jerry.
On Raekwon, I was curious, do you think this year he has been a better player in terms of taking the ball to the hoop? I know he started off the game like that against Temple. He just went right to the cup a couple of times. That guy's so big. I would it would be terrifying for me to stand in front of him and try to take a charge on Raekwon. He's so big. But do you feel like when he gets going downhill like that kind of sparks the rest of his game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I really think that for anyone. I mean, I think anytime you can see the ball go through up close, whether it's layups or free throws, when you're playing downhill, north-south first, I think that kind of allows your three-point shooting and your spacing to really open up. So, certainly I think, he saw a couple of early ones, against Temple. That sort of got his motor going a little bit, and when you see that, the basket it starts to feel wider than maybe it actually is after you see a couple of easy ones.
Haley, go ahead.
All right, Coach. So I kind of want to talk about something you briefly mentioned, and that was the assists. And from our perspective, we focused on the offense, and that's why I like hearing from you guys, because the coaches always provide more info on something media didn't catch, because the team better, you work with them day in and day out. So I'd like to know if personally that's one of your philosophies and all the experience you've had as a coach, if teamwork really does make the dream work.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's something that we stress every day. We value assisted shots, assisted field goals. Even in practice, we'll do drills where certain baskets are weighted more if they're assisted versus non-assisted and different things like that. Thought early on in the season we struggled with that a little bit. And I think if you look probably over the last 10 games or so, I think our assist numbers are way up. And I think in conference-only games, I think we're the third most assisted team. So, certainly we want to share the ball. We want to make quick decisions. We still want to be aggressive with our bounce. and be aggressive to drive it and create. But certainly when we create an advantage on offense and, we find open shooters, we want our guys, we say catch to score, so you're never going to be more open than the first time you catch it. So certainly we want to value creating, good shots and good opportunities for teammates.
Jerry, go ahead.
Coach, can you elaborate a little bit on Tyrion Joseph and just kind of his status right now going into this week?
He as far as I know, Jerry, I believe he's still questionable for Wednesday. But yeah, no, I'm hoping to get more information on that today. It's still just 10:30 a.m. So I'm hoping to get some more information on that as we go.
Anything else from you, Haley?
No, that's it for me.
Well, after being the toast of the nation not that long ago, on the surface, FAU may look a little more middle of the road, but they've obviously played some tough opponents. Coach, what are you expecting to see from this year's Owls team?
Well, Coach Jagus has done a really good job. They played a treacherous non-conference schedule. So, their record, I know, of course, they had a ton of success in the past, with the Final Four and another tournament appearance. So, maybe you look at their record and you say, he took over a brand new program, similar to what we had to do here. I think they only have 2 returners. So he brought in, he did a great job recruiting and brought in a brand new team. And they've done a great job. I mean, obviously they're right there in the middle of the conference and have had some tough losses. They have skilled bigs that are physical. They played really hard. Their guards are dynamic. They're interchangeable. We're going to guard a lot of ball screens. And then they really compete defensively as well. And they'll mix it up. They'll throw some wrinkles of a zone and 1-3-1 at you. So this is a big game. It's a big game on the road. Obviously, they're coming off. They played really well yesterday at North Texas, which we all know is a tough place to play against a really tough team. They were up in the second half there, I want to say that an 8-point lead with 16 minutes left or something like that. So they're going to be ready to go. Obviously we've got to travel up there tomorrow and get organized and make sure we understand what it's going to take to win the game. So we've got a really important day of preparation ahead, and then another one tomorrow, and then we've got to lace them up on Wednesday and figure out how to win on the road.
You have another question, Jerry?
Yeah, Coach, what do you think about FAU? I've seen FAU on TV a couple of times. I'm intrigued by Bob Miller, the long, tall forward that they have. It seems like he can do just about everything. I've seen him dribbling up the court sometimes. He's a shot blocker. He shoots a 3-ball. What do you see from Baba Miller?
Yeah, I mean, you just said it, Jerry. He can do a little bit of everything. He's incredibly talented, very skilled, played at a high level. Before. You just got to make it difficult for him. I think offensively, he's got to see bodies. You want to be, you don't want to foul him, but you want to be physical, right? You want to try to not let him catch it where he wants to catch it. And I think that really goes for their entire team. I mean, they're a very, very good offensive team. So it's important that we disrupt their timing and rhythm without pressure and physicality defensively, without fouling. And then on the other side, yeah, I mean, he's obviously a great rim protector. We need to focus on, obviously, our ball movement. If we get stagnant against their defense and play one-on-one or just don't get body or ball movement, it's going to be really hard to score.
Anything else?
That's all I had.
No, none for me.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. And thank you, Coach. And we will see you next week after a big, long road trip.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Birds up.